My voice is kind of garbly this morning. I think I have some phlegm.
Oh, it may be from the coffee, perhaps?
It may be from eating half a loaf of brown bread at midnight last night from my test loaf.
Yep, that's it.
Just
there she goes.
So yeah.
Homemade fresh bread. It's been a while.
You've been listening to Bread Podcast, Maritime Edition.
This is a breadcast.
This is breadcast. I'm sure there are bread
all
podcasts.
Yeast. Rising.
Oh, stick around, everyone, for more awesome moments like this. Welcome, everyone. If you haven't listened to our podcast before, this is our podcast where May and myself, Moxie, discovered we have this shared innate strength, ability, whatever you want to call it, that when we put more love out into the universe, we get an exponential amount of love back, and we want to share that with everyone because you all have it in you, and we just feel like we can make ourselves and the world a better place by doing this, and it gives us this great euphorilytic feeling by doing it.
Moxie, that is correct. And everyone out there listening, this is something that you can absolutely do yourself. It's not going to cost you any money, and all it's going to take is a little bit of time. You might already be doing it and not realize it. You just need to open your heart, look for the little love in situations, and you can really just focus in on receiving that love back into yourself.
Just put that WD-40 on the hinges of your heart's door and just crank her
I really like that. That was good.
Not everyone has a closed heart like us, but maybe this podcast is the best for people who just kind of need that bump into positivity and sending love out. Just open it just a little crack, let some fresh air in, let some love out. You may be surprised how much better it makes your life.
Agreed. And even if you're somebody who feels very confident in your own positivity and your own ability to keep on trucking, it's always nice to have a reminder of what can be out there. And also, you know what? It's okay to not be okay sometimes as well.
It is okay to not be okay. We definitely all have those moments. Speaking of being okay, yesterday was 20 degrees here, Celsius, for those who aren't in for America. Oh my goodness, just being outside and tilling my garden and getting a sunburn, it just made me so okay.
Oh, that's lovely.
It was very euphorilytic.
I also got to enjoy some outdoorsness, and it was lovely. I was in St. Andrews by the Sea, which is a beautiful, idyllic seaside town, and the sun was shining, and we went around to the little touristy shops, and we had 2 lunches. So it was just a great day. I had a lobster roll.
Do you like lobster?
I don't so much care for like a lobster that you crack and you eat all the stuff, but I love a lobster roll. Delicious.
I love the idea of like cracking the claws and digging the meat out and stuff, but I don't like lobster, so it just seems like a waste.
Yeah.
So I don't.
No, yeah, the actual like lobster eating. Do you like a lobster roll?
I mean, like if it was put in front of me, I'd eat it, but lobster is such a...
It's expensive.
Flossy thing. Well, no, it's just like, why spend the money or make an animal die for something that I'm just...
That you're indifferent to. Yeah.
Okay about? Yeah, indifferent. Yeah, I'm indifferent. But I will say, there's this seafood place by me. For those who don't know, May and I both live in like seaside cities. So
we're ocean dwelling pals.
The salt air just cleans your sinuses. So anyway, by the ferry by my house, there is like a stall in the farmer thing on the Dartmouth side. And half the family is the one on the fishing boat and the other half runs the place, but they make food. And they have this lobster poutine, which is like a seafood cream over fries with cheese and little bits of lobster. One summer, I got in a little bit of a phase, like needing that lobster poutine every week. But
Oh, that sounds so good.
It wasn't, I don't think it was necessarily the lobster. It's just like the creaminess and the fishiness and deliciousness.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. Did they cut their own French fries?
I think they are hand-cut fries because they do also maintain a gluten-free kitchen if people are gluten-free, like actual gluten-free kitchen.
Wonderful.
So,
oh, that's lovely.
I think it is all homemade.
That sounds so good. And it was like a cream sauce instead of a gravy.
Oh, yeah. So, we just got back from a fabulous trip together.
We did. It was so nice and wonderful.
It was so good. It definitely was. I needed the laughs, I'll say.
Yeah.
And we went to this wonderful event called the Portland Bug Light Kite Festival in Portland, Maine. Because we are just like New York City hipsters and we go to Portland, Maine for our little getaways. And every year we go, every year it's awesome. And I think it really comes back to how if you give out love, there's like an exponential amount of love back. And we go to this event every year with, it has varied success based on the weather, but this year it was banging. There was so many people there.
This was probably the best, I think.
So many people were just so friendly to each other. It didn't matter. It was a lot of camaraderie. And literally all it is this park that's, I don't know, half an acre. It's not even this giant park. Maybe an acre. And there's just like 300 kites in the sky.
It's really something to see. It's very interesting. Like just, you can't even really visualize it until you see it.
And there's no barrier to entry. You can go, you can bring a kite, you cannot bring a kite, you can sit on the ground, you bring your own food, you can buy food. There's no like gates or anything. The only problem is getting there. You have to walk like 10 minutes. But I did see they have like spots if you had a disabled pass for your car, like someone standing there not turning you away. And it's just really great and was just a reminder that there is a lot of awesomeness and good in the world and things can be simple and still be recharging you and giving you positivity and love back.
And this festival is definitely an example of allowing yourself to be delighted by something.
Yes, good point.
Because it's, I mean, when you hear about it, okay, a bunch of people are flying kites, that's great. But it is like there's no point to it. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like it's not serious. It's a way that adults can do this thing that's very it's very zen. You just kind of focus on this kite that's flying up in the air and it just, I don't know. It's really nice. It's a very nice way to decompress. The weather's beautiful. You're seeing all of these other people who are happy and they're also delighted. There's lots of love to observe. It's primo people watching.
Primo.
So good. But just a lot of families, a lot of friends together, a lot of smiles. It's really, really nice, good energy. A beautiful way to spend an afternoon. And like Moxie was saying, there's really no barrier to entry for this, which is so rare. You really don't find a lot of events that either are free cost-wise or able to be attended by a lot of people, just different things like that. It's awesome.
Also,
definitely like, if not my favorite weekend of the year, like definitely up there for sure.
Also, this is possibly more applicable to people like you and I, but I think there's a lot of you and I's out there. At least in where we live, virtually all activities that are geared not specifically to children, but for families and or adults only. Like this is definitely a family event, but it wasn't specifically geared to children. It was geared to everybody.
Anyone who wanted to go.
One of the problems I find with them around us is it always focuses around drinking. Like,
yeah, I was going to say that.
Like the boardwalk in your city every night, they have shows in that, but it's all, you have to sit at a bar.
But it's drinking. And it's drink specials.
And this is just pure, it's okay to just be adults and go. It's not a slosh up. It's midday. Come have a picnic.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we think we're not entitled as adults to do these things without having kids or without bringing our kids or that sort of thing because they're family events. But it's like, I'm single. I don't have children. I still love doing those things. And it's nice that event seemed to really be framed around just come and have a good time, not kind of reminding you don't have a family or kids or you shouldn't be there because you don't have that too.
Yeah, just a real a sense of community, which I think that's something that people our age are searching for, really, because, in our grandparents' generation and even our parents' generation, they had the church usually to kind of take up that space of, getting together, a family outside of a family that you would get together and do things like go to the supper and you meet once a week for the service and, there's stuff at Christmas, all the different holidays. And with people our age not really attending church in the traditional sense. Now, maybe this is just what I'm exposed to, but I don't really know anyone in my immediate circle that goes to a traditional church on the regular. So I think that people our age are kind of looking for something to fill that.
Yep.
Just because of how it's just human nature to want to band together as a tribe and have that sense of community, which I think I try to fill that with, going to different events in the community that I go to, like when I went to the volunteering or when earlier this week I went to a drawing workshop. I don't even think I told anyone that I went.
No, you didn't tell me. Yeah.
No, it was actually really cool. It was at the museum. And it was $15.
Facebook feed that you had been interested. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I did go to that. I just kind of like spur of the moment went, and at first I was hesitant because I get so weird about like, oh, it's a work night and I'll be tired. But I don't know. I was just like, oh, suck it up. You'll be home by 9. Like, what's your problem? So I went, and it was fun. I liked it. We did, the woman who was leading the workshop does botanical drawings on dark paper with pencil crayons, just regular old pencil crayons. And so that's what she was getting us to do. She showed us all these beautiful pictures that she had, because she's also a photographer. So she showed us all these pictures she had taken. And then we did like color theory a little bit for like 10 minutes and mixing colors with the pencil crayons. And then she had like just a bouquet of flowers, just a regular, and she said like pick a flower and draw that. And it was interesting because you got, often when I go to these things, it's me and then a bunch of older ladies, like
empty nesters.
Yeah, empty nester ladies, which is fun. I really like it, but a lot of them were really serious about the drawing, and I could tell they were feeling kind of embarrassed or maybe upset because they felt that they weren't doing it right.
Aww.
Yeah, I know, but I was just kind of like, everyone's picture's beautiful. We're having fun. And I got to keep the pencil crayons. Because I needed another box of pencil crayons.
That's what you needed in your life.
But yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I just kind of went and, I don't know, sometimes I just do that. And maybe people think I'm being snotty when I don't say, does anyone want to come to this with me? But sometimes I just decide stuff at the last minute. It's definitely not a slight.
Yeah, generally, and I mean, this is something I'm trying to do less of, is if I want to do something, I'm just going to go and do it.
That's what I do too.
I can't bear the buildup of people being like, oh yeah, let's go do it. And I'll do it. And then everyone flaking. And then I don't even feel like going anymore because
I know,
I had this idea in my head. So I just started doing it. And a lot of times I'll try to be like, hey, I'm doing this in case you want to come. But
yeah, I'll do that too. Well, that's why I put interested on stuff.
About the sense of community. One of our friends actually said to me recently, and it was really insightful and really thoughtful, that they moved here from elsewhere and they have no family here other than their immediate family. They're lucky they have like family here. But they said, this is where I've chosen to live, and this is, where I live and this is my home and I don't have the luxury of people around me, I need to force those roots into the ground. I need to make community connections with people.
Yeah.
So I'm a part of this community and I have like my sense of being here, even though it's not by blood relatives and not even necessarily like, I need family. It's just, this is where I live. I'm working on making this my community and putting my like mark and my roots in this place, which was really interesting to me because it does seem that people are more and more mobile in our society. Look, I moved away and it seemed like nothing versus years ago without the internet and that it would be you and I could never be connected and stuff.
No.
To really be conscious of that and work to still grow your own community, even if you're not like a super people social person, that you still need to have those connections.
Yeah, and it, like you were saying earlier, I think people don't realize how ingrained alcohol is in the socializing of adults and going out at night.
Totally.
And, you know, when you don't have that to fall back on anymore, it becomes increasingly difficult to try and find events. So I just keep doing like these crafty things, but I really would at some point, and I think that I'm going to have to be the one to make this because I just keep waiting around for it to happen, to have some kind of a socializing built around just socializing, like not, you know, and not having pressure or alcohol, like just having it as a sober space and maybe even having that be the point of the gathering.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
rather than, I don't know.
It doesn't even have to be that the point is sober. It's just, we're not going to have booze and that's okay. Because it seems, to me, it isn't the booze because I'm not an alcoholic. But I don't need to drink, and a lot of times I can't drink because if I'm driving, I drive 2 wheels, not 4. So I don't drink any alcohol when I scoot.
Yeah, no.
And I just don't want to or don't care. And I find here, the drinking is the activity.
Yeah.
And
here, it's a big, that's here as well.
Without that drinking, quote, quote, people feel like it's not enough to just go out and be social, and they need some sort of activity to happen to be social.
Yeah. I was at a networking event about 2 weeks ago it was actually John who went to the event and then wanted me to be there so that he wouldn't stand by himself, which is fine, which is totally fine. It was held on a Thursday night and it was open bar. And I said to John, just kind of being the observer in the room, I said, do you know why they had it on a Thursday? And he said, well, I can guess. And I said, yeah, it's so that people don't drink themselves into a stupor at the open bar. Because I think people sometimes see an open bar as a challenge. Really.
Oh, it's just like a buffet, which I'm fully in the same buffet, right? Like,
yeah.
But it is true. Like, we just think it's an activity. I'm going for a drink with someone on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And by the time this airs, it will already have happened. And they were like, oh, let's get a drink. And already I have it's someone who doesn't know me yet. And already I'm like, oh, I'm going to get there and order a club soda, and they're going to think I'm a freaking weirdo. And then I'm going to feel bad because I'm taking up space for the server. Like, their you know, cost for the cover for the table is going to be low because I'm just like, oh my God.
Don't think about that part.
Well, usually I just still give them like a $2 or $3 tip.
Oh, I always, I do the same thing
because I can't bear you hating me for not drinking, which is so stupid. Well,
I know. Well, no, I understand what you mean because there is a bar. I think I even mentioned this before. There's one that the comedy shows are held at that I will go to, and the guy there, I won't say the name in case this gets him in trouble somehow, but he always comps my drink. Like, usually I just get a soda water, but every once in a while I'll get a Pepsi if I'm feeling frisky. And he always just says, no, don't worry about it. And I always leave a tip. Sometimes I can't because I only have a 20 on me and I feel bad. But then I get John to tip him good for me. So,
Yeah.
He knows what's up. Also, I do have a crystal for today.
Oh, wonderful. Let's crystal it up.
If you're
I
interested.
absolutely am.
So a side note is sometimes when I Google, I just if I don't have a crystal already picked out to talk about, I'll Google like crystal for mindfulness, crystal for such and such. This time I thought like a good mix with the Kite Festival would be a crystal for being present, kind of in the moment.
Ooh.
And all of the all of the Google results for that were crystals present in urine. And they were about like cats. So that I just thought that was funny. Because at first I was like, what? And then I was like, oh yeah, right.
Also,
because poor Tachi, he gets crystals in his urine, but they do not make him feel euphoric.
Also, FYI for people, just because I know not everyone listens to this the week of, so I'll say this now. There is a Kite Festival in Halifax on July 7th.
Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely be going, making friends go. May, you should come down.
Yeah.
But if anyone...
I know, I want to go. I think that's right at the end of my vacation, I think. So it's
because you
very
could go
possible.
home the Sunday morning after, because it's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a bunch of food for people to have and have like a home blanket.
Oh, baby.
So please message us and join us. Maybe you'll get to meet...
Oh, that would be lovely.
Rolly if he comes.
Rolly!
Because I know Rolly's dad is finally done working Saturdays, they said. So
oh, awesome.
maybe they'd come in and join our family, but you don't have to have a family. Totally inclusive, non-alcoholic daytime event with food.
Oh, I love it. It's giving me life.
Okay, back to crystals after that quick promotion.
Well, that's okay. This crystal is called the Desert Rose.
Oh,
Ooh.
baby.
And the reason it's called a desert rose is because it is this odd cluster of plates that kind of come together, and they do look like kind of a rose shape.
Oh, weird.
They're very beautiful.
Weird.
And what they are is gypsum, which is, as we know, selenite, which I've already spoken about before, except this selenite is formed, being formed in the desert. It has sand included in it, so it has like this sandy color, and I believe the inclusion of that sand is what makes it form plates instead of just that one tower. So, being partially selenite, but also partially earth, this is considered to have a lot of the same properties as selenite, which again was a stone. It's like that satiny one, the one that the Greeks believed was a piece of the moon. So, very high vibration, kind of like a feminine energy, not to say like female body in that sense, but just like the traditionally, calming, nurturing type of energy. And it's also considered to be powerful because it's made from water, wind, and earth. So the sand that's in it. So it kind of has all of these elements of the, the four elements kind of tying itself together.
What about fire? What?
Well, the fire's not in it. It's just the three.
Oh, the sun. Ooh, the sun. There.
Well, exactly. You could, because that's how it's formed. It forms in like these little pools, which evaporate because of the sun and leave behind these little crystalline growths. And they are really nice. I'm hoping that when we visit the desert, ideally it would be amazing if I found one in the wild, but
we're a visited, but I don't know if you're gonna I don't think if you'd be allowed to take it.
No, I also that's a good point.
It.
I also wouldn't exactly. I wouldn't necessarily want to like remove it from, because if everybody did that, there wouldn't be any anymore. But you can get plenty of the, I can certainly purchase them here, and I believe that they're lab grown, the ones that would be here, which is fine. It's still the same thing.
Exactly.
But I would love, love, love to see one growing and just living its best life.
That would be very cool.
They're kind of, I think that they're technically like a fossil too, because they take millions of years to grow, and then they're just there. So the sand in them, the sand inclusions would be quite old. Dinosaur times sand.
Kind of squinted my eyes at that one, but we can follow up on that later.
I mean, I think every crystal, technically by that definition, and every rock. Oh, also, this weekend I saw some petrified wood for sale with some crystals in a crystal-y fancy-do shop.
Yeah.
So I really would like a piece of petrified wood. That would be cool.
Put that on your to-do
because they do
list.
They look kind of like a tiger's eye with like the layers of, but not the satiny that a tiger's eye has. It's just like the dark or the different bands of tan. But it was wood.
I think I've seen it before, actually.
You probably have, yeah. I don't think it's uncommon at all. I think that there's a lot.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.